program kicked in after that. Came and, maybe did the same thing that slavery, the same effects that slavery had. But I'm just saying that to say I don't really disagree with what bro's putting forth. I'm just having trouble making that long connection because it's like, well, how the fuck do we do it?
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Yeah. Behavioral patterns are passed down just like eating habits. So we can say even with our eating habits, it's been passed down from slavery till now. And the same thing with behavioral patterns. So it's like hand in hand. Not everybody of all of anything is going to do everything, right? But we can say that a majority of these bad habits and things have been passed down. And a lot of the shit is in your DNA. Nigga, meaning it has trauma carries through DNA. We be reliving lives that we don't even know.
So basically, we have no control over this, whether we want to or not, in a sense, because it's like we're doomed. Because what I'm struggling with is like I think something like mass incarceration would be a better kind of. That makes sense to me. If you say mass incarceration is a big part of why.
No, that's slavery.
Look, that's a factor. That's a variable. That's a variable from a carryover. That's a part of the larger macrocosm. Because if you think about it, slavery germinated into mass incarceration, which comes from people getting left out of sharecroppers. When black men were in slavery, finally they got a chance to be free. They became promiscuous, going around, sleeping around. Yeah, we locked in and had the family during the 60s. But what was the 70s? All of the motherfucking dads was leaving the home. That's what the 70s was all about. So, yeah, we had a period, maybe a 10-year period, or maybe even a 20-year period, but that wasn't a long period to where we had a large family structure. Like I said, my dad, I was 5. My dad walked off and left. So, and I know a lot of niggas, their daddies was leaving. So the 70s, 80s, 90s, niggas didn't have no daddy. Not one man in the motherfucking house.
I always kind of thought mass incarceration, I credit that to like the 90s and the crime bills and things of that sort. But my question to you though, like is in the crack era is kind of the first example that pops to mind. Is like what like when do you like when is the crack era? Are we talking 70s? If you were to say,
no,
I don't get too in depth about it, but that whole era there was
crack era started in 1983. Crack era started in 1983. Like I said, I got my first felony, possession for sales, 11351 in 1985. So I got my first felony in 1985. Crack was already coming around because look, I didn't know what it was. I got an older sister. She used to be going back and forth to the pen and shit, out chilling and all that shit. So, I'm in my room. Me and my homeboy, we in there playing Atari. She keeps coming in there talking about, Richie, somebody's under the bed. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Nelda? I keep going in there looking, looking up under the bed and all this shit. I'm thinking my sister is fucking crazy because she's been in jail and all this shit. So I'm thinking she's just a paranoid schizo, right? Little do I know, she's smoking crack. So now, I'm like 13, right? It's like 9. So I'm taking my sister to Pomona, right? I'm taking my sister to Pomona in Centown. When we pull up in the middle of Centown, niggas swarm the car and just start. I don't know what they handed my sister and Monica right now. I just know that I'm driving them there. Next year, I find out what they was handing. You feel what I'm saying? Now the next year, I'm selling it. And
yeah, that's crazy, bro. Like it almost makes total sense too, right? You look at the 70s, 60s, where black people was the most empowered they've been. You had niggas fight for every right they could think of, getting that shit. And then right after that, you had this whole massive. It's like, all right, fuck it. They got their rights now. They're actually considered humans and shit. Of course, their constitution. It's like these niggas step back and say, yo, how do we change that? Oh, like, let's just incriminate all these niggas. For all the drugs in the neighborhood, all the guns. And that lines up with exactly what you talking about. Like,
hey, look, I'll tell you this. If you go back and do the research, go back and check history and listen to Malcolm X's last speech before they killed him, right? The Ballad of the Bullet. It was one of the last ones. It was called Ballad of the Bullet.
Yeah, I heard it.
Everything this nigga said in that speech, right? Everything this nigga said, we ain't allowing no more. After he died, nigga, look where we at right now. Everything that he said we wasn't going to do, we did. Everything he said that we wasn't going to allow was allowed. So once them two niggas caught bullets, once Martin caught a bullet, once Malcolm caught a bullet, niggas got scared. We ain't had that type of black push since. And niggas all scared. They scared as a motherfucker.
That literally has to be the intention, though. If Malcolm is fighting,
it was the intention.
Well, if Malcolm is saying this shit is it's gonna be a revolution, right? And then Malcolm is the peaceful one saying, look, let's just evolve. We're gonna evolve and get to that point. These niggas kill both of them. It's like so their main issue is it don't matter how you get here, my nigga. We just don't want you free. That's all I'm getting from that. It's like if I'm gonna kill the peaceful nigga and the revolutionary, it's like, what message are you trying to send people?
But you got to remember, the peaceful nigga stopped being peaceful. The peaceful nigga was saying he made a mistake. And once he started saying he had made a mistake, he had to die. Right? And once Malcolm, they knew they had to get rid of him. It was over with. All this shit that we going through, bruh, is nothing but regurgitated slavery control tactics on a different level now.
What's the solution? Like,
this is the thing that you got to take into consideration. The way it always gets taken out is we having a discussion right now, right, about this powerful shit. One nigga in here is a turncoat.
Oh God, what is the Panthers, man?
You know what I'm saying? One of us in here is a snitch and a turncoat.
And that's been since slavery, though, my nigga. That's been since slavery. There was always that one nigga that was gonna go tell Master what the fuck the slaves was planning on doing.
What's the nigga Samuel L. Jackson's name in that? Jingle?
Yeah, see? Yeah, I can get it.
But like, all right, so y'all niggas smart, right? And you guys are like, you live some life, you know some shit. Just hearing y'all talk, like, on some real shit. Let's say we empowered you to basically, look, whatever you just need this off. Like, what's the solution? On some, like, not some content answer, but on some real shit, like, if you had to tell your son or, you know what I'm saying, one of your kids, like...
I tell my son, like I tell him now, no sex until marriage. Bring back virginity to the women and hold them accountable. That's rule one. Start off one.
Yeah, that's me. I'm over that mindset too. Impulse control. First,
why is that number one though?
Because
once the women
we're dealing with an immature population. We're dealing with a population that reacts off of instincts and feelings as opposed to cerebral action. Once we can develop,
sexual desire,
thinking from we lose by our lower half because we succumb to our lower half.
The number one. Look at how they catch up every black man from Tupac Tyson. It's all through sexual immorality.
Even MLK.
They're able to put you in jail constantly due to what? Sexual immorality, and that's how they view us already.
You know, it's
very sexual immorality.
And if you don't got that, bro, they gonna say you gay. It's all it revolves around that shit. It's some dark shit, gang. Like, what the fuck?
But it comes from our history. Why you think they keep pushing this cocaine in front of us, bro?
Yeah.
No wonder why they keep putting sexy red in our face and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
they don't want no more masculine men, basically.
Yeah,
they need to keep you in a state of hypersexuality, so you can only focus on satisfying yourself.
Yeah, you know what's crazy too? Like that like I got sisters and shit. You know what I mean? And so I'm very in tune. I think anybody that's raised around women and shit like that too, you have like it gives you a different perspective in life. Not saying you should definitely not be raised by all of them too though, because then emotionally fucked up and emotionally unstable. But as we see, especially on this app, but it's like that process too is like they're just literally some sex toy. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't really value like women, bro. It's
right,
they're powerful
but also,
beings. You know what I mean? And you don't get that sense if all you think about is I'm just fucking on them. And once posting that clarity, I'm good.
and no, but you gotta also think about this though. Once you eliminate premarital sex, what do you think happens? Marriage rate goes up. Why does the marriage rate go up? Because you ain't having it unless you marry. Right? Yeah, so that fixes a big problem in our community off top. Their job is to make sure that we're not doing it the right way. That's their whole job. So as long as they can make sure niggas is immoral, not getting married, they don't want marriage. They never wanted marriage for black people, man. Because they don't want it. They don't want it, nigga.
They don't want no. Hey, listen, let me tell you something, man. I got a black woman, right? And when we go places, we receive opposition from black people, from black women, most importantly, and just people in general. They don't want to